Hello, good morning, late morning. This is a taste challenge. This is for the Friday slot. Not going to double up on Thursday. It's simply the Friday slot. So no liquor on Friday. Won't probably be feeling like doing it on Friday. There's not going to be a fan Friday unless James P. Madonna does it on the Progressive Discussions channel. He was talking about doing that, but I'm not joining. Clubhouse rum introduced at some point in history. Can't get a good date on it. Been around a long time, a lot longer than the numbers I'm finding, dates I'm finding. Interesting product. It says it's from Bardstown, Kentucky. You say, well, where is it made? What Caribbean island? You know what? Looking at this, I don't know if it's made in the Caribbean. It says it's got the clubhouse, the crossed fishing poles, crossed golf clubs, and the clubhouse in the background. Aquamarine or turquoise, gold, and white. Premium quality rum. All right, I bought this at super discount store on Louisiana Highway 47, northbound in St. Bernard Parish, Chalmette, which doesn't allow liquor sales at grocery stores and gas stations. So you got to go to a liquor store. It's one of those local ordinances. It's not a state law. So I saw this on the shelf and it was $6.99. Now, if you bought 2-liter bottles, 2 1-liter bottles, it was $5.99 each. So I asked the man, could I mix and match? He said no. I said, well, I'll pay the $6.99 each. I'm not going to buy 2 bottles of something I never tried to save money, so-called. Now, if it was a brand I drank all the time, well, yeah, I mean, that's what people are going to do. So I didn't know anything about it, but when it said Bardstown, I knew it was probably Heaven Hill. It looked like a Heaven Hill bottle. They're cylindrical bottles, and it is $6.99. The other one on the shelf, same special, you had to get 2 bottles, so I paid $6.99, is the Ron Rio Caribbean rum, 40% alcohol. They're both 40%, 80 proof. Clear rum, white rum, gold, silver rum, whatever you want to call it. Silver, white. Nobody says clear, but that's what it is. Bottled by Ron Rio Importers, Western Missouri. Well, yeah, but it's just like this Kentucky Standard Distillers, Ron Rio Importers. That's Heaven Hill. This is McCormick, all right? You've probably seen McCormick blended whiskey around. And we get McCormick vodka at Walmart here in this town. So there's a clipper ship, some medals that they never won. Pen and ink drawing of a clipper ship. Looks nice, you know. So when I got the bottle, I said, it looks kind of old-timey. I found out it was introduced in 1975. It looks like they never changed the label since 1975, which is all right. It's filigree, like you can feel the texture of the waves in the sails. So I thought, wow, yeah. Then I opened the bottle. Uh-oh. Now, to tell you about it on the McCormick website. See, McCormick has a website that tells you things like Sazerac used to do. They're showing the gold and the silver and gold, made with 5 times distilled Caribbean rum. So we notice it's 5 times distilled. And some of them are only 4 times. See, Ron Rio rum evokes the relaxed lifestyle in front of the islands, available in both medium body gold and the lightly sweet silver. Ron Rio rum is made from molasses refined from 100% American sugar cane. And they're showing a cocktail glass with a cherry and a lime wedge and some mint. And it's orange looking. I don't know what that drink is called. I don't know anything about mixed drinks except that people make them. What do I know about a menu? What do I know about the restaurant business? You get a menu and you order, right? So what do I know about cocktails? Not much. People drink them. I know one thing about cocktails, I guess, that they're regulated by the U.S. government, in theory at least. In theory, not in practice. They got secret police of cocktails going around? But if you read the Tax and Trade Bureau website, they've got government guidelines for each cocktail. A Moscow Mule must contain the following. And I'm like, meaningless and, in fact, ludicrous government regulations when you think about it in a practical sense. But whatever the case, it's there. It exists. These exist. All right. I don't know if Clubhouse is even made in the Caribbean. It could be made in Missouri. You can make rum in America. They make a lot of rum in Louisiana. I never tried it. It's probably good. It's expensive, so I don't buy it. I mean, it's like I ain't paying $39 to, you know what I mean? Like like what they have Gator Bite. It's probably good, but seems overpriced. But maybe one day I'll get it. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get it for a present, right? A gift. So let's go on. I'm going to go with Ron Rio first because I know the date, 1975. And what happened in 1975? Gerald Ford was president. South Vietnam fell to communists, unfortunately. The Bee Gees made Jive Talking. Jefferson Starship made Red Octopus, their best-selling album. The Pittsburgh Steelers were the top football team in the NFL. Ohio State was good, and they're still good. There were no more moon landings. Angola and Mozambique, Portuguese West Africa and Portuguese East Africa became independent countries. All right. Now, appearance is not going to matter. Price does not matter. They're identical. I don't need to mix these up, but I will just for the sake of it. But I know I'm going to tell them apart because I know what. How do I know Ron Rio? Well, it smells like Roundup from Monsanto and rancid sugarcane stalks. Two unforgettable aromas: bagasse, the rancid sugarcane stalks, bagasse, and pesticide. You say, "Wow, that sounds great." Yeah, sure. It doesn't taste like it, but it smells like it. So the smell is absolutely repulsive. You say, well, you got a bad batch. You got a bad scent. Shouldn't happen. I go into a store and I buy something. It shouldn't be no bad batches. It should be no rancid characteristics. It should be good. If you can't do it right, get out of the game. You know what I'm saying? The Clubhouse smells like regular old standard rum. White. It's right up there with Bacardi White. I'm sorry, Captain Morgan White and Bacardi Superior, which are much more expensive. So would I pay extra for Bacardi Superior and Captain Morgan? No, I wouldn't, because I'm not seeing that there's a payoff. You say, but it's a prettier bottle. Yep. Craft Beer Tastic says, I bet a good bit of the high rum prices are because of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms and local government taxes incurred. Well, that's for any alcoholic beverage. That's for milk. Milk costs a lot more than it ought to because of government subsidy and regulations and enforced scarcity and all that. Wouldn't cost hardly anything. Big J the Big Timer. Big J the Big Timer says, always been a fan. Whenever I get a cold beer to drink, I will watch your version of that beer first. Thank you. I appreciate you supporting my channel. By the way, my username was Mashimbo. You might remember me, Ron Mashimbo. Yes, I think I do. Here he goes testing out the engines. These people are obsessed with power equipment. And they can fix anything. They're just crazy about it. You know what I mean? Like they buy a brand new boat. And the first thing they do is take the engine apart just to see how it works. Like break the whole engine down. It's like it's a 2019 boat. Why do you need to break the engine down? Oh, look at it. All right. So anyway, it's just what they do. Okay. Now, you say, well, your hobby's drinking, tasting liquor, tasting wine, tasting beer. That's right. And their hobby is fooling with power equipment. And there's nothing wrong with it, except doing this hobby is quiet and their hobby ain't. So there's that payoff. You know, there's that differential. All right. And I can't say their hobby's healthier. Look at fumes, gas, chemicals, oil, probably putting benzene on stuff like stainless steel or whatever they do. So, I mean, I don't know if it's healthier. I just know it's loud. All right. Well, not jumping back and saying, oh, no. So this is obviously the clubhouse. I get disappointed when there's no power equipment running in the background of your video productions. Good. I mean, that's good because you won't get disappointed too much because it's usually going on. But I got to admit, to be fair, I mean, I want to be fair with these people. They've been living there 59 years, and I've only been living here 27 years, so they got me beat. So they take precedence, I guess. I didn't know I was moving next to a machine yard. But to be fair, they never start doing that before 5:30 a.m., and they don't ever go on past 11 p.m., so got to give them credit. And if you were having a wedding in your front yard, they probably wouldn't stop. They'd just gun the engine right at the valves. You know, now we will say the valve. I mean, that's just kind of the Cajun culture. You say, well, you have that background and your heritage. I know, and I recognize what it is. After Katrina, I was going around saying, let's go help people in New Orleans. No, I'm worried about my own family. I said, well, nothing happened to your family. There's no flooding here. What are you talking about? They'll be all right. I said, they're dying. They're not going to be all right. I said, okay, French. That's the French mindset. All France said, forget the rest of the world. I'm worried about my yard. You say you're very prejudiced against your own people. I'm not prejudiced. I just know how they are. I know this mindset. Believe me, what I'm telling you, it's the truth. Or as they would say, it's the truth. I'm going to the store to buy grind meat. I don't have time for this. We all have our weaknesses and our faults. And my friend Paul said the same thing. Yeah, that's how they are. Meaning that's how we are, but we don't need to be and shouldn't be. All right. All right, so that smells just like rum. It's like very low profile, low level nose. I guess he's going to cut the grass. Got this huge riding lawnmower for that. You say he must own a farm. It must be a huge, huge yard for a riding lawnmower. No, not really. Just people in Louisiana love riding lawnmowers, whether they're needed or not. Just gotta have that. Just pale, what do you call it? Light molasses, low level sugar, low level sweetness, low level everything. It's just muted. These white rums are muted. Now, if you're looking for, you say, I want an elaborate aroma. I want a bursting flavor. I want a kaleidoscope. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds flavor. Well, you're not going to get that. They're not designed for that. They're really not even designed to drink like this. This is like not even proper. They're designed for making cocktails, mixed drinks. Now, Bacardi had a good point. Like in the 1970s, about 40 years ago, they ran an ad campaign saying, yeah. It was based, I'm paraphrasing. It was saying like, yeah. We know these are mixing liquors. Everybody knows that. Like, we don't need to tell you that. You're buying it to make cocktails. Fine. They said, but what you can do is you taste it neat, straight, and then compare it to other rums, and you'll find that it's really good in a straight, non-typical way of tasting it. Then you'll see why ours make better cocktails. That's the argument. And I don't know if they really make better cocktails. That's the problem with the argument, that yet on its own merits, it might be better, sipping it like no one does. But you start adding cherry juice and this stuff and that stuff and bitters and Peychaud's and bitters and all of this, but then it might mask it so much it may not even matter what you use. You could use Ron Rio, which I'm about to talk about, and you just want the 40 proof. Well, if that's the case, you only want the 40 proof. I mean, the 80 proof, the 40% alcohol. That whole point that they're making might not be like meaningful, but it is true that it is best. I agree with what they're saying. You sip it neat, then see if it is at least theoretically better. In a practical sense, it may not even matter. Oh, yikes. No. I'd rather hear all that noise. I don't understand how this got on the shelf. You know, like, how did this come on the shelf? I mean, how did this? It's not being prejudiced when you are stating facts about a group of people. You know, I know that, but you know, you got this virtue signal culture. You know, they can't, like, reality doesn't matter now. It's like, oh no, it's all about living in a pretend world. I never said I agree with all of that. And you run into people like that. I don't want to be your friend. It's like, what I said was true. No, it isn't. I listened to Ebony and Ivory. Listen what the song says. So that's a song, okay? It's wonderful. It's just like piano keys. Doesn't mean it's reality because Paul McCartney says it. And Little Stevie Wonder. Do you think they are distilling from a spoiled mash? Well, they're using molasses. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's just the worst smelling liquor in the history of me smelling liquor. It's like grass. You ever cut like a lot of weeds, you know, have that grass smell? It's like weeds, like, ugh, you know, and it's like really harsh, and it's, I say pesticide. It's probably not. It's just my mindset, you know, and it's like rancid sugarcane stalks, which we call bag ass. I saw one of those trucks 2 weeks ago going down US 61. I said, uh-oh, let it sit out in the sun in the heat, and you're going to be smelling that truck a mile away. Now, they might have just bringing it straight to, it was early in the morning, like at 5:50. So they might have been bringing it straight to whatever processing plant takes it to. They don't throw it away. They make particle board out of it. They don't throw away these things. Corn, husks, they don't throw it away. They use it. They make stuff. The only thing they throw away is the air. It's like pigs. The only thing they don't use is the oink. That's monstrous. Monstrous. It's horrifically bad. It's beyond the pale. It's beyond any sort of concept you would ever have that something could smell like. Well, let's taste it for what that's worth, which, as you could see, it isn't worth anything. But it's part of the routine. It's part of the rotation. I'll do it. The next one's going to be Clubhouse versus Bocador. That'll be a real taste challenge. It's going to be maybe Bocador winning. Bocador from Philadelphia. I know it's from the Caribbean, but it's bottled in Philadelphia by Jacquin. Jacquin's, the same people that make the Dairyland Distillers Pennsylvania Dutch eggnog, which they do a great job, by the way. But and they make so many cordials. That's their thing. Cordials, cordials, cordials. You say, well, what are you mad about if they're making all kind of money from cordials? I'm not mad about it. I would wish them the best. But that'll be a real challenge, you know, because I think the Bocador might be a little bit better. It costs $2 more. It better be better. It better be better. Here we go. The taste test, the perfunctory taste test, the meaningless taste test. It's just standard. Light molasses, low profile sugar, medium body, medium long finish. It's a little peppery spice, which I don't know where that comes from with these white rums. It must be from the wood, the oak, or you say, well, it's not always necessarily. Yeah, it's different charcoals that they're mellowing it and what we call filtering, dripping it through. It could be a combination of wood, and they're not going to tell you. You're never going to find out. Almost invariably, though, they're aged and used. It could be bourbon barrels. Used bourbon barrels for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, even up perhaps a year, but more than likely not that long with these things. With the Bacardi, it would, because they're part of the rums of Puerto Rico, which is a minimum 1 year aging in a barrel. Do you pick up bourbon flavor from a used bourbon barrel? No. Read about bourbon barrels. All the char and the red color and the succulent flavor is sucked up by that first running of the rum. It just sucks it up. Whoops. I saw a video on YouTube at a distillery. I think it was Heaven Hill. Then they said, now watch what happens when we put the rum in the second time, the bourbon in the second run. And remember, when it goes in the barrel, it ain't bourbon. You say, yeah, it's moonshine. That's right. Corn liquor, which could be sold as grain neutral spirits because it's mostly corn. Don't get your feelings hurt, because that's what it is. Let's be even more frank. Now, but with a combination of wheat, rye, malt whiskey, and all that. Now we gotta, let's say that. Doesn't have to be. Could be 100% corn liquor to be bourbon. I could win some money from you on that. But the second time they put it in, they said, look, we aged this twice as long in a used barrel. It's got almost no color. Because they said the first running sucks all the color out. And then they ship those barrels off to Scotland for Scotch, Canada for blended Canadian whiskey, America for blended American whiskey, and for the rum, and etc. Go use a tea bag the second time. You'd be like, this tea has no flavor. Exactly. Thank you. And it barely has any tea color. Right. Those rum barrels are very useful. They can be used 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 100 times. But not for bourbon. Only once for bourbon. Got it? They should scrape down the insides of the barrel somehow in between batches. Well, I don't know what they do. They probably do all kind of creative things. Now let's go with the Ron Rio if I can stomach it. Oh no! Why am I doing this? Wow, it tastes like some old grass, some old weeds. You say, what about the sweetness? Yeah, what about it? Oh. Now, how can that be a good drink when you sip it? It makes you hurt. Like you say, ow. Like you say, well, damn, it's like you stubbed your toe walking into the bathroom. You know how painful that is. This is like that. It's like painful. When you take a sip, it's painful. I don't know about you, but to me, taking a sip of liquor should not be painful. And that is dang pain. You say, I bet you thought Camo malt liquors were painful. They were not painful. They were 14% monstrosities, atrocities of mankind. There was nothing painful about Camo. They were just disgusting. I did the video where I threw it against the fence. It was so bad, but it wasn't painful. I mean, now if I'd have drank that whole 24-ounce can, that would have been, yeah, painful. You're throwing up in the vomiting, and all that's not pleasant. But that's a horrendous thing. But this is painful, like little sips. Camo's just flat out disgusting. And the 40 Street Legal was disgusting. And the Super Brew 15 was disgusting. And the Axe Head was disgusting. And the all of that stuff. The Earthquake High Gravity 12%, disgusting. They're all terrible. And I've done so many of them, and it never changed. They're all like horrible. Now, the 10% Earthquake, to be fair, is not disgusting. They've actually improved it. Can you believe that? They said, they probably had a board meeting, at Fusion Projects, the people that make Four Local. Let's get serious now and stop all the bull crap. We're going to make a good Earthquake high grade. Well, not a good one, but one that's almost like arguably consumable. And then they tasted it. Oh, yeah. And they might have been watching my reviews. Look, Louisiana Beer Reviews did it. He didn't scream and holler. He said it was actually, in some argument, you could make the argument that it was actually acceptable in some ways. And so the 10%, I said that the first time. The second time I tried the 10% Earthquake, it could have been argued to be a B-. I wouldn't go that far, I don't think, but so they did some good work. They went from utterly repulsive to marginally good, which is a great feat. Oh, man. But still bad to drink that stuff. You drink that whole 24-ounce can. I don't care if you drink it over 4 hours. After you drink it, you feel like you got drugged like you took medicine. And I don't know about you. I don't like to drink any kind of beer, wine, or liquor where you feel like you took medicine. And if I drink those strong beers, I feel like I took medicine. And it's not good. It's not a good feeling. I don't like to take medicine. They should, oh, same comment. So like, I'm not a drug person. I know I got friends on Facebook and they'll tell me, you're judging. I said, I'm not judging. You understand? You asked me a pointed question. Do I smoke marijuana? I say, no, I never smoked it. I have no interest in it. And then they'll say, you're judging people. I said, how am I judging you? I told you I had no interest in it. It's like asking me, do I watch tennis? And I said, no, I'm not interested in tennis. Why are you judging tennis? Why do you think tennis is bad? I didn't say tennis was bad. I said, I'm not interested in tennis. Okay. So, but no tennis fans ever told me that. But the marijuana people, they'll say that. You're judging me. You think you're better than me. I said, look, I only know you from beer reviews. Okay. I don't know you really in your personal life. What you do in your personal life is immaterial to me. I don't think about what you do all day. And it's funny, the interaction, they'll say, you think I'm paranoid, huh? Well, do you think that? Because I didn't bring up the paranoia issue, but you're thinking like, you're asking me questions about something I have no interest in. And then when I don't answer it in the way you wanted me to, you're saying, I think you're paranoid. And what do they say about the tokers? That's just what I read on in booklets or whatever, that it makes people paranoid. And that my experience, it would be that was probably the case, because it's always like the same pattern. I mean, it's my whole life. It's the same pattern. Hi, Ron, says Maxwell. Hey, Ron. Hey, Ron. Hello, me. Hey, Maxwell in the Russian Federation. Okay, I got to go turn those potatoes over. I saw Grace Slick talking about that. She used to be the singer of Jefferson Airplane / Jefferson Starship / Starship. She retired a long time ago when she was 50 years old. She's going to be 80 in about a week. So she's been retired 30 years. She retired longer than she was performing. But she said, she always said she was going to retire. I was looking at a magazine article from 1968, and they were saying, what are you going to do in the future? She said, well, I'll sing, but then when I turn 50, I'm going to retire. And people thought that was like a running joke. Like, oh, yeah, well, come on, She was serious. But she was talking about how one time they said, oh, I bet you used to like to take a lot of drugs. And she said, oh, yes, I love taking drugs, but I never liked taking them when I was performing or drinking. She said, because I like to be in control on stage and I had to follow the music. So I wanted to make sure I knew where I was in the performance. She said, but one time we got dosed. She said, only time I took drugs if I got dosed on stage. She said, they were at a concert in 1971, which sounds about right. And then one time she did an interview, said they were in Billings, Montana. But this interview 3 weeks ago, she said they were in New Orleans. But the way she described the arena, that doesn't sound like any arena I ever heard of in New Orleans. So she might have gotten confused, but it doesn't really matter, because she did talk about, well, then she talked about New Orleans, where the people dressed, and that might have been somewhere else too, but it's immaterial. So she's talking about they did a concert, and before they went on stage, their road manager said, hey, I got some stuff to sniff. And she said, well, I thought it was just cocaine, so I sniffed it like normal. So she sniffed the cocaine. But it wasn't. It was powdered form lysergic acid diethylamide. He did a prank on them. Bad thing to do, prank people while they're about to do a concert. So she said, oh, we went on stage, and then she said, I said, after about 5 minutes or whatever time period, was not long, she said, I looked up and I said, why the universe is coming down on us? That was a statement she made. Why is the universe coming down on us? Which was not a good sign. And then she was saying, and then I'm listening. All I could hear was the bass guitars. Jack Cassidy, dong, 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 dong. I couldn't hear any other instruments. She said, so I got really scared because I was supposed to play the piano. And then the audience was like melting. She said, why is the audience like dripping? So she said, oh, it was really nerve-wracking because you couldn't follow where you were in the show. And she was thinking to herself, that no good SO somebody, He spiked this with lysergic acid diethylamide. I'm going to get him after the show, assuming I make it through this. But I thought it was a very comical interview. Anyway, she was talking about getting dosed. But yeah, I'm like you. I like listening to those old rock and roll interviews. Yep. Still tastes like stinking Roundup and weeds and grass and old bag ass. And I don't know what's going on. Hey, Ron Rio, you know what? I hate you. And I would never buy you. And I would never recommend you. And the problem is I got like 90% of the bottle left. Well, why is that? Well, you think I'm in a rush to drink this? Tragedy? Unbelievable. They say cheap liquor is horrible. Well, my experience is cheap liquor might be a little odd, but it's really usually not horrible. But this is the one time where the rumors were true. It is definitively horrible. Oh, no. All right. So what's coming up next in the rum world? Well, next week, probably in about a week, 6 days, I think I'm going to plan to do Clubhouse versus Bocador. And that's going to be a straight up tie. And the only way Bocador is going to win, because it's $2 more per bottle. And I do care about cost. You may not. I do. My money, I can buy what I want. The only way Bocador is going to win is if it's way better. Okay, I don't pay $2 more per bottle for something that's arguably better or marginally better or possibly better. I don't play that game. If it wasn't for the drugs, a lot of musicians would not have been as creative, says Craft Beer-tastic. Yeah, maybe so, and a lot of them would still be alive too. But anyway, but be that as it may, I'm heading out of here. So we'll be back, God willing, in 2 days on a morning Dawn Busters with more Canadian whiskey. We got Lord Calvert versus Canadian Crest. And I have an interesting story with Canadian Crest. Just goes to show you, you think you know, but sometimes you don't really know. And that was a time when I didn't really know. Thanks for watching this video production. It's been an interesting taste challenge, so-called. Not that this could ever be a challenge in any way, shape, form, or fashion.